Hey guys, welcome to the Stinkin Truth Podcast alongside my partner, Mike Evans. I am Mark Schlereth. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Mike, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. We're getting ready for the draft. As you and I talk right now, we are about T-minus 2 weeks away from the start of this draft, which I still have to kind of pinch myself. Like, here in Colorado, seeing the rise of the CU Buffalo program under Deion Sanders these last 2 years has been remarkable, considering where they were just a couple years ago, where they were one of the worst, if not the worst programs in all of Division I football. And now here we are, where you could make a legitimate argument that Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders should go 1-2 in this draft.
It's absolutely unreal what they have done up at CU. And the way that Deion has come in there, it's like a freaking tornado, right? And just completely turned the college atmosphere at CU on its ear, to the point where he rolls in there before they even have a program, for crying out loud. And the spring game gets put on ESPN, and, there's concerts and it's just absolutely amazing. But it's not just a hype train. It does not just go, it just is not all hype and pomp and circumstance. There is legitimacy behind it. There is a plan behind it. There are legitimate football players behind it. When Deion Sanders comes up and says, hey, man, the portal's open. Like, get in the transfer portal because a lot of you clowns ain't going to make this team, right? Like when he comes out there, and it was so funny because CU Boulder people were butthurt about it. It's not fair. Like, it's some type of intramural course, right? Deion was like, no, listen, man. Yeah, this is the deal. And there are a lot of people out there that talk about Deion like he's some type of used car salesman. And I get it. I get that, that he's, he says the things he says, and he's, Mr. Positivity, and then he's keeping receipts and he's doing this, that, and the other. But I'm going to tell you, having had the opportunity to be up at CU the last spring,
yep,
and to do some coaching up there with Deion and the connection that he and I have and the relationship that he and I have, it's authentic. And I'm going to tell you right now, he invests in those kids' lives. And it's more than just football. It's about investing in their lives, growing them up as men. And I will tell you, man, he takes this very seriously. And I played college football, albeit 100 years ago. But there are a lot of kids in these programs that are the male figure in their whole family, right? There are a lot of kids that need parenting. There are a lot of kids that need that love and that support. And Deion does a phenomenal job of building those kids up. There's no question about it. I have seen it firsthand, sharing with them his life, sharing with them the gospel, sharing with them, everything. And I'm telling you, they do a good job, and they've got some damn good football coaches up there at CU, and you can see that NFL teams are taking notice. I mean, they must have had one owner showed up to the pro day at CU. They had every team represented by multiple scouts and multiple teams, and it's real, Mike.
Well, let's start talking about some of these players, starting with the Heisman winner in Travis Hunter. A lot of debate about this guy. Really what it centers on is, can he play both ways, or does he need to pick one side of the ball? Which one is the better? Or at the least, could he major in one side of the ball, minor in the other? How do you come down on the whole Travis Hunter debate?
I played, Deion and I were in the same draft class. Now, Deion was a first rounder, and I was out at the back of it.
12th round, right? 12th round?
Oh, yeah. Stop it. You know better. I was a 10th rounder. And
high 10th rounder, though, right?
What?
High 10th rounder?
Yeah, I was like a preferred walk-on. Not just a regular walk-on, preferred.
Right.
But I will tell you, you look at Travis Hunter, and I've kind of gone back and forth on this because ultimately, no offense to Colorado State, you ain't playing the Colorado State Rams. Like, They aren't on the schedule when you play in the NFL. There are full-grown ass men in the NFL. And I will say this about Travis, man, he's not the biggest kid, man. He's pretty slight in his build, but unbelievable. There are certain guys that can just flat out run. There are certain guys that are just wired differently. I've talked to Jeff Saturday. I've talked to Peyton Manning. I've talked to Brandon Stokely about Marvin Harrison, and they all say the same thing. Dude could run all day long, never got tired, never needed a rest in practice. Like, that dude was a freak show. And that's how Travis Henry is wired. He's just
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is wired. He can run and he can go all day long, does not get tired. Now, on the specifics, like, he is rated, like, I got one of these draft publications, Mike. So I'm thumbing through the draft publication because announcement. I am putting together a bunch of really cool pre-draft breakdowns. And I'll let you know. I'll let you know Monday where you can find all these pre-draft, because I'm not going to do it on social media. I'm going to do it on a website where you can see all these pre-draft breakdowns. And I've brought on a former coach to help me out with some of the positions. So it's going to be kind of cool, and you can kind of look at these draft prospects. But here's what I'll tell you. This publication I'm looking at, one of them has him as the number 2 corner. The publication had number 2 corner and number 4 wide receiver. And now I've talked to teams that look at him more as a wide receiver than a corner. So it just depends on, what your flavor is when it comes to, Travis.
What do you see? If you were picking Travis Hunter and you were saying we're gonna play you on one side of the ball, what would it be?
Wide receiver.
Okay. Why?
I think that kid is so dynamic inside, and that dude could make things a big time headache, in the slot, ripping seams and doing all the things you do from the slot receiver position. Now, I talked to Greg Jennings, former Super Bowl winner with the Green Bay Packers wide receiver, and he said, no, I want to put him outside. I'd like him outside, easier on the outside than it is to run routes on the inside. My thought process on the inside, get him in motion, get him off press, because he's not very big. I don't want guys pressing him. I just want him to be able to shake dudes down, right? So, that would be my initial thought. But the thing that probably makes the most sense, Mike, is to have him be one of your cornerbacks and then have a package for him on the offensive side of the ball. Okay. And, then you can do that. You can say, okay, listen, man, and this depends on the football team. Like if you go to San Francisco, like, I would look at San Francisco going, he's not in our plans, because we don't run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets.
Okay.
Right. So we have an X and we have a Z, and then we're either in 2 backs and a tight end, or we're in 2 tight ends and a back, so we're either in 12 personnel or we're in 21 personnel, but we're not running a lot of what we used to call zebra in my day, a lot of 11 personnel, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end and 1 back. So I think you would have to go to a predominantly, a team that maybe runs some 3 wides, or like, actually, let me reverse that. I screwed that up in my own mind. I think it's more likely you go to a team that runs a lot of diverse personnel, so that you're not sitting in 3 wides all the time. I mixed that up in my mind. I apologize. So you do like a San Francisco team, or a team that runs multiple personnel groupings that says, hey, man, we run a lot of 21. We run a lot of 12. And we have a package, but maybe it's 30% of our plays or 25% of our plays where we're actually in 3 wides. See, I was thinking about the Rams in years ago, having them be in 3 wide personnel 98% of the time. They've changed since then, but that's a team that wants to be in 3 personnel or 11 personnel, 3 wides all the time. Like, that doesn't fit. But if you're a team like San Francisco, or you're a team that Denver runs multiple personnel packages, Cleveland makes sense in Cleveland under Stefanski, because you want to run tight ends, you want to run two back, you want to do all that stuff. So 25% of the time you're playing receiver. So then you say, hey man, Travis, here's your package. You're going to be in our 3 wide personnel packages on 2nd down and 7+, 3rd down and 7+. So now we're saying, okay, we're in 2nd down and 7 or 3rd down and 7+. Let's call it 14, 15 plays a game, right? Now all of a sudden you look at that and say, okay, if we're running a 65 play a game average and 15 of those plays is out of 3 wide packages, out of that 2nd down 7+, like that fits into that 20, 25%, whatever it is, percentage. I'm not doing the math on the fly because math is not my thing. I'm a general studies major, like percentages over my pay grade, right? 2 + 2, 4. Boom, I'm on it. Math, all those other things, not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah, not so much. So I think that would make the most sense. And then you say, hey, man, you're a starting corner for us, but you've got this package at the receiver position. That makes the most sense to me. But remember, I started this conversation, and I've gone squirrel. I'm all over the place. I started this conversation by talking about Deion. Deion is one of the greatest athletes. He and Bo Jackson, 2 greatest athletes I've ever witnessed, live. I mean, I remember playing a game in 1990 when I played for the Washington Redskins. Deion flying in Saturday night for the team meetings from Atlanta. I played on Saturday, played for the Braves, flew in that night after the game, and we kicked off to the Atlanta Falcons. I think the first kickoff of the game, and Deion took it 102 or something for a touchdown, right? But remember, this is one of the greatest athletes of all time we've ever witnessed. He was a shutdown, lockdown corner. And even though he played for a long time, you know how many receptions Deion had? Because he played both ways. You know how many receptions he had? Plus he returned, though, and Travis doesn't return. But you know how many receptions he had?
I think it was only around 50, right?
60.
60, okay.
And he's one of the greatest that's ever played. So I don't know, but it's intriguing. It is intriguing. And the kid, like I said, he's wired like Marvin Harrison. The guy can run all day long.
Meanwhile, Travis's teammate, Shedeur Sanders, boy, a very polarizing figure, very much out there. He's loud, he's brash, he's confident. And a lot of debate about Shedeur and the argument that, he has all the makings of being an elite franchise quarterback. Other people think, he's all hype. There isn't as much there. And if anything, he should slide probably down near the end of the first round. What do you see when you look at Shedeur Sanders?
I see the things that, to me, make a quality quarterback. Intelligence, ability to dissect the defense, and to be accurate.
Yep.
So let me just give you kind of my assessment of what creates a good NFL quarterback, all right? And the criticisms that are dropping him right now, in my mind, are irrelevant. When I hear, well, he's not, a great quote unquote, speed athlete. He's a 4.8, 5, 4.9, 40 guy, right? So he's not that. You know what I say to that? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
When I hear scouts talk about lack of arm talent, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Lack of arm talent. Now, you and I live in Denver, and last year, the criticisms of Bo Nix were not athletic enough and doesn't possess arm talent. It's a cop-out. It's things that are said by people who don't know what they're looking at. It is, I'm a scout and I check boxes. Here are the boxes I'm going to check, right? Arm talent. It's not elite. Boom, that grades him down. He's not fast enough. Boom, that grades him down. Brady couldn't beat me in a race. Neither could Peyton Manning. Does not matter if from the neck up you can process. Now, accuracy, okay? I think this is big. Accuracy. The reason you have accuracy is a combination of timing, right?
Yep.
And footwork. And I will tell you that you cannot be accurate if you're not on time. So it's timing and it's knowledge, right? The footwork goes in with the timing. You got to be on time with your feet to be on time with the ball. In the West Coast offense, we used to say all the time, you throw the feet with your ball, or you throw the ball with your feet. Excuse me, I screwed that up. You throw the ball with your feet. It's all about the timing and the drops. You cannot be accurate, Mike, if you're not on time. And you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot be on time if you don't know what you're looking at.
Right.
If you can't process and diagnose, if you don't see what, behind me, you don't see it, you don't take it in with your eyes, you don't process it quickly, and then bam, you're on time. So you cannot be accurate if you're not on time, and you cannot be on time if you don't know what the hell you're diagnosing.
Right.
You don't read routes as a quarterback. You read who you put into conflict. You read coverage. And then you know what you're running, and you know who you're trying to put in conflict. And if that guy is in conflict, if he plays wide, you throw it inside. If he plays deep, you throw it underneath. If he plays shallow, you throw it over the top. You've got to understand the concept has just got to be perfect. Like, it's got to be, you could see it in your mind. It's like that beautiful mind with all those numbers and all those letters. It's X's and O's. You got to see that stuff, but you've got to be able to read what the defense is giving you. Right? That's what you've got to be able to do. And he does that. So this arm talent stuff is bullshit. And I will tell you this, like, there's only once or twice during the course of a season you're going to rear back and throw it 65 yards. And these workouts in shorts and T-shirts where a guy, like the guy's running a post and you just throw it, and you throw it anywhere out there, a sideline, and the kid just adjusts and and then he catches it and goes, oh, my God, he threw it to a milk carton. It was perfect. No, it wasn't. There was no coverage. He just threw it to an area, and the receiver ran to it. Of course it's a perfect throw. A deep ball comes off a 5-step drop, Mike. So let me relate this to what I did for a living. If I heard a 5-step drop that doesn't have a hitch, it was a signal to me that I could upkick, that I could sell run, I could do some things because the ball is out so quickly. So on a deep ball, if we call all go, so we got all go, it's all vertical routes, right? We're running 4 verts. So we're either ripping a seam or we're throwing it down the sideline. Sometimes we'll go all go special, we'll run somebody across the football field. So it's 3 go routes and somebody that's running a high cross, right? And so all go is thrown off a 5-step drop without a hitch. So it means you go pop, 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 pop. You hit your 5th step, right? And at that 5th step, it's gone. The ball comes down in an all go between 42 and 47 yards. So between 42 and 47 yards between the red line. Do you know what the red line is?
Yeah, it's the imaginary line 5 yards from the line of script. 5 yards in from the boundaries.
Right. So as you're a receiver, man, what are you trying to capture? You get outside release. The corner's trying to shove you into the sideline, right? He's trying to they call that being in phase. He's trying to stay in phase and shove you to the sideline. So your job is to get by him. And then as you get by him, you start to lean. And you lean into the red line, right? And you provide space for your quarterback to throw it from that red line 5 yards away from the sideline, 15 feet to the sideline. So then when you lean, and the throw is out there, you stay there, and then you go, oh, boom, and you're wide open, right? You've got that space. That ball comes down between, again, 42 and 47 yards. So you're telling me that Shedeur Sanders doesn't have enough arm talent to throw that? And the deep out routes and all that stuff, they go, well, from one hash mark all the way to the other side of the field. Dude, again, it's timing route.
Yeah.
If you're on time, you don't have to have, hey, is it nice to have an elite level arm and be late with the football? Josh Allen, yeah, that's nice. But Josh Allen would rather be on time and not have to hose it every time.
Right.
And when you overthrow because you're late, you know what that creates? Inaccuracy. When you're late, the two things happen to you. When you're late, you pull your head as a quarterback. It's like a pitcher. When you're late, man, you really have to step into it. You pull your head. What happens? You instead of staying behind the ball, right? Instead of staying behind the ball and on top of the ball where you can really drive the football, what happens? Your arm gets long, right? Your arm gets long, and then you start to sail the ball. You don't have accuracy. You're no longer driving the football.
Well,
that's what happens to quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, we watched Tom Brady play at the end of his career, and it looked like his arm was.
Tom Brady had better arm talent at 40 than he did at 28.
Correct. Why? Because he knew exactly where he was going with the ball. He was on time. His mechanics were exquisite.
Flawless.
And it had nothing to do with arm talent as much as what you just said. He knew where the ball was going. He was able to throw with perfect mechanics, and that's why it looked like he still had a hose into his mid-40s. So there's Travis, there's Shedeur. We'll be talking a lot more about them as we get closer to the draft. Some NFL news, current NFL news, James Cook, the outstanding running back for the Bills, who had hinted that he was unhappy with his contract status, now saying that he'll return under the pre-agreed upon terms. So doesn't look like there's going to be any drama in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think there's an olive branch there, right? James Cook wanted $15 million a year. Listen, James, you're not getting $15 million a year. That's just like, you're not Travis Henry. You're not, you're not Saquon Barkley. You're not
Travis. You said Travis Henry for Travis Hunter, Travis Henry for Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. You're
Travis
not.
Henry just had another child while we were talking.
Yes, that guy sweats sperm. That dude.
I am sorry.
Right.
Royal audience. I did not see that
my
coming.
inside sources said he went in for a knee arthroscopy and 3 nurses came out pregnant. So you got to be careful with that guy. He is very fertile. Very fertile. I apologize. Derrick Henry. You're not Derrick Henry. You're not Saquon Barkley, right? You're not even Travis Hunter. I know, right? I'm just all over the place, man. I'm busy. Anyhow, yeah, but here's the olive branch. All right, I'm going to come back. I'm going to go through the OTAs. I know, he was phenomenal last year. This opens up the opportunity to have dialogue and get a real NFL contract. So no, you're not going to make $15 million a year, $20 million a year, whatever you want. But will we sign you to a long-term deal that pays you 10, maybe $11 million a year instead of you going out there and risking injury at $5 million a year off your rookie deal? Yes, we will. And I think that's where this ends up, Mike, somewhere in that $10 to $11 million range instead of playing on that $5 million range where he is right now off that rookie deal. So this is an olive branch act of good faith by James Cook. And I think it will be rewarded with a new contract, not a market-setting contract, but a new contract for James Cook with the Buffalo Bills. I believe that will happen.
Last topic. Interesting. Gino Smith and Pete Carroll talking at a press conference with the Raiders, saying that they have, quote, unfinished business. And Gino saying that I would run through a wall for Pete Carroll, and Pete joking, well, I'd probably hit that wall before you run through it. But it sounds like it's all good between those two. They built a really good relationship in Seattle. You saw that relationship when you covered some Seattle games. What are Raider fans in store for with this duo?
One, I think it's a really good signing for the Raiders. I mean, what Gino has done, just talking to Gino, and I haven't talked to him recently, but just, prepping for games and having him a couple different times, the humility remember, this is a guy that got punched in the jaw when he was with the Jets by one of his own teammates, right? This was one of his teammates broke his jaw in the locker. So this was a guy that had, for whatever reason, I don't know the whole backstory to that, but there's some serious issues going on there. This is a guy that was kind of kicked to the curb. That had, I mean, we can argue. I think he'd be the first to tell you maturity issues, some other things. Man, this guy he's a professional football player. I think it's one of the great signings this offseason for the Raiders, or the trades for the Raiders. This is a big time. And remember, under Pete Carroll, like for 2 years, he was a Pro Bowl player. As a matter of fact, his first year, he led the league in completion percentage and completion percentage of throws over 15 yards, Mike. I believe it was throws over 15 or 20 yards. Yeah. And I'm going back in the recesses of my mind to the game I did. And then one of the things Pete told me, man, is just like, hey, dude, professional. I mean, on top of it, really knows his stuff. And he goes, and let me just tell you something. Like, people don't know this. He's got arm talent for days. Like, he can and I'm not just talking about he's got a big arm. He can really throw it. Like, he can spin it. Accurate, on time with the football, and he can just really, really let it eat. So Pete was effusive in his praise, and they went to back-to-back Super Bowls, or back-to-back Pro Bowls. Right. The other thing about Gino is at a point in his life, when he took back over for Seattle, where he's like, hey, Pete, you can run the offense you want to run. I just want to fit in because I understand what it's like on the other side. Like, I want to run the offense. I want to be, productive in the offense, because if I'm productive in the offense and the offense clicks, we're going to click. And so a lot of good things there. I know Pete absolutely loves him. And it's good. And Pete Carroll can coach, man. Yep. And he creates an environment. Every time I did a Seattle game and I'm there on Fridays watching them practice, practices, it's hopping. Yep. It is. And listen, man, you would think, well, that's everybody. Man, I've been to practice in the NFL where I was like, this team ain't worth a score to piss. Like, yep. If I had money on this game, I'd put it on the other team. There's no, just based off of Friday practice. I did a bunch of, I'm just going to shut my mouth. Throw away the key. But that practice is sharp. It is quick. Did I start to hear Jets? Did everyone start to hear Jets? It is fast. It is Jets. No. So anyhow, yeah, I think it's a great fit for the Raiders. And listen, much as I hate the Raiders, and much, as I give the Raiders crap, the league is a better place when the Raiders are relevant. Mm-hmm. And I think this move with Pete Carroll, this move with Gino Smith, helps make them relevant.
Well, I'll let you head back into the recess of your mind, not the recess of your mind.
What did I say, the recess?
The recess. So you were obviously thinking about Reese's Pieces. An outstanding.
Well, here's the deal, Mike. I've been fasting. I've been fasting for 72 hours right now.
What?
I'm on a 72-hour fast right now. And
talk about burying the lead. What's this all about? You've been talking to Aaron Rodgers lately?
No. I just did just a water and black coffee fast for the last. It'll be 72 hours this afternoon. I'm almost there. I'm about 70 hours right now. I'm about 2 hours away from 72-hour fast. Just health, and just praying for stuff and things that every now and again, I do that.
You seem like you're doing great. I mean, all joking aside, you look great. And
I feel awesome. Awesome. And I'm not even hungry, but Reese's Pieces do something like Reese's. There's very few. Reese's is an excellent candy. Like peanut butter and chocolate. Again, why did I not think of this? Man. I'm sure they've been around before I was born, but Reese's that is not a good candy. That's a great candy.
72. Once that 72nd hour is done, where are you going straight? Carnegie Deli? Just going to hammer a big old sandwich or what? What are we doing?
You know what I've had a hunkering for lately?
What?
There's one right next to my apartment. Benihana's.
Ooh, can't go wrong with that.
A little steak and lobster.
I don't know if you have to do the big chain. No offense, Benihana. I mean, you're in New York City. You could probably find some hole in the wall that's just like, oh, beautiful.
But no question. But like, it's like literally 2 steps. It's less than a quarter of a block away from my apartment. So I'm like, I don't have to go far. Plus, I'm famished, so I don't want to waste a bunch of energy walking around. I can
that's
go
true.
in there.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. That's we'll hear more about that. Maybe talk more about that next week.
Probably not, but
All right. I wasn't really
probably not. People don't really. You're not supposed
that-
to. You're not supposed to like, oh, look at, I'm fasting. Look at me. But yeah, I've been on a fast, so that's probably why the Reese's came out.
Good,
instead of
because I
Reese's.
really wasn't that interested.
Oh, you're just trying to bust my balls.
I was just trying to be nice,
Yeah.
but I wasn't really that interested. Ooh, 72 hours. Ooh, look at me.
By the way, I did text Michael Malone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about that.
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? You got the afternoon off. Want to talk? No. Boy, you know he's my boy, man. So
I know.
I'm thinking about you, Michael Malone.
All
I'm
right.
thinking about you. How about that?
Okay. Say goodbye.
I'm sure he's a big listener of the podcast,
I'm
big
sure.
watcher and
Well,
listener of the podcast.
He's got more time now. He's got free time. So
Get time?
You got
Hey,
time.
Michael Malone, download it and make sure you subscribe. You got time.
tell your friends.
Yeah.
Tell Calvin Booth.
Oh, yeah. Booth, you can listen too. Not together in the same room because you got to meet each other, apparently. All right. For everybody involved in the Stinkin podcast, I am Mark. He is Mike. We'll talk to you guys later.